Hey everybody, it's once again that special time of year where you get together and snuggle up with your sweethearts. But in the event that you actually have no one to snuggle up with this year, DC has got you covered with Young Romance, the new 52 Valentine special. This comic has 6 love stories in it, but of course it has to boast the budding relationship between Wonder Woman and Superman, as they make out over what looks like some freshly wrecked robots. Killer robots, must be Tuesday. Soups and Wendy both look just fine after their little robot rumble, but I find myself wincing in pain as I look at Wonder Woman's chest. Sure, she is tough enough to withstand an embrace from the Man of Steel, but it looks like her armored corset will probably stay crushed like that after they let go of each other. Ouchie. Story number 1, Think It Through, opens with Catwoman sitting on a rooftop with a stash of loot that she just stole. Behind her is a billboard that reads, "Happy Valentine's Day. Get her all that she deserves." Cute. Get her all that she deserves. What if she deserves nothing? Oh yeah, Catwoman believes that she doesn't deserve anything. So I suppose that's why she makes a career out of stealing whatever she wants and spending millions on luxury apartments. I'm wet, stuck on a rooftop. How did I get to this point? Damned if I know. It's not raining, and you look far too comfortable to think that you've been sitting in the rain this whole time and it only just now stopped. Huge rolls of stolen paintings. No getaway car. That's it for partners. They always betray you. So why are you still sitting here instead of running away like you always do? And partners? Getaway cars? I don't read the new 52 Catwoman comics. Thank you very much, Catwoman number 1, for completely destroying the dynamic between Catwoman and Batman's relationship. So maybe she's changed her methods since then. But last time I checked, she worked completely alone in her burglarizing exploits. I haven't pulled off such an idiot heist in years. Not since the Sunnyside job. And that was on Valentine's Day, too. The day I met Batman. Oh, DC Reboot, you never fail in thinking of new and creative ways to confuse me. I'll be getting into the Death of the Family story arc soon, but in it, we see Batman reference the very first murder victim of the Joker, Henry Claridge, and we see Joker recreating the events that led to his transformation back when he was the Red Hood. This seems to imply that despite the reboot, the last 70-plus years of history actually did happen, at least as far as Batman is concerned. Since Catwoman is a Batman spin-off character, that means that the first time she met Batman should be out at sea when she was simply known as the Cat, and she didn't wear a cat costume of any kind. And now apparently she first met Batman at some housing project named Sunnyside, and she's wearing a catsuit that more or less resembles her most recent look. Consistency! Look it up! Anyway, we cut to the past. Another February 14th, long ago. Thanks for mentioning that this is in the past. I don't think I'd be able to put that together after the long ago. We meet a younger Selina Kyle and one of her associates outside a store window. Her dialogue suggests that she's admiring the furred boots on the centered mannequin, but the art shows that she's more interested in the dress on the right mannequin. But their window shopping is interrupted by this jerk. "You kids are breathing so hot and heavy over that stuff, you fogged the window. Let me give you a hint. Those fur boots? $3,000. The same knockoff? $50 on Orchard Street. Get back downtown where you belong." Tiffany furred boots? $3,000. Orchard Street knockoff boots? $50. Chasing away potential customers who look like they belong downtown for some reason despite their decent attire when you should have been paying attention to potential shoplifters inside the shop? Priceless. And stupid. After that little bit of pointlessness, we cut to later that night. Or later some night, since the narration doesn't indicate when this is taking place. And for that matter, where is this narration coming from? Catwoman's narration looks like this, and the comic's narration looks like this, so where's this yellow text box coming from? Sunnyside Housing Project. Housing for the underprivileged. Neat. Tidy. No garbage. The biggest thing in evidence is pride. Yes, the people who run Sunnyside are so proud of their establishment that they spent a whole 5 minutes painting their sign. Built in the shadow of an abandoned Gothic cathedral. A beloved landmark with no money to save it from ruin. Because it's not like beloved landmarks are maintained by the city or anything. We find Catwoman and her friend inside the cathedral, where the landlady of Sunnyside apparently hides the goods of her tenants to keep them from being repossessed. Kinda weird. You'd think all the various electronic stores of Gotham would be a touch more suspicious about how all of their customers from this project conveniently end up with all of their TVs and stereos missing. We're done. Let's go. I know where I can unload this. Then we're getting you those fur boots. And you couldn't just steal the boots because... By the way, throughout this entire flashback, we see Catwoman isn't wearing any goggles, but in this panel, she is. Oops. But before they can escape with their loot, Batman crashes the party. What is that? I've heard of you. You're the Batman. Her friend runs off, but Catwoman stands her ground. Billy, no! We're 2 against 1! We got this! If you've already heard of the Batman and all the horror stories that he's associated with, what in God's green earth makes you think that 2 against 1 are odds enough to beat him? Batman grabs them both and tells them to put the stuff back. Catwoman gets out of his grip, somehow, and makes a run for it. He's hot. He's a big bully, but he's sexy.
Criminals are a superstitious, cowardly lot, so my disguise must be able to strike sexual arousal within their hearts. I should put nipples on my costume, too. That'd be hot.
She gets away from him, and she goes back to the church. No one returns to the scene of the crime. Only dopes. He'll never figure out I doubled back. What possible reason does he have to go back to the church? It's not like I left my friend there and a truckload of stolen goods that he could easily escape with. God, I'm a criminal genius. But Batman, being Batman, catches up with her and grabs her by the neck.
You guessing no one returns to the crime scene? Wrong. Most perps do. Some kind of guilt compulsion.
While most perps might go back to the scene of the crime, how the hell do you know what she was thinking?
I'm Batman.
Oh, yes, of course. Silly me. They tumble off the roof, and instead of falling to the ground, they somehow end up crashing through the stained glass window. Let go of me!
Don't worry, I've got you.
Yeah, she knows that. She knows that you've got her. Hence her saying, let go of me. We jump back to the present, where Catwoman is still wasting her time on this roof instead of getting back home. She remembers Batman's parting words at the end of this little escapade.
You're good. You got strength, wit, fast thinking, great skills. You need training and practice.
Oh yeah, advise the thief who isn't afraid of you to become an even better thief. Brilliant idea from the master strategist.
But I want you to think about who you steal from and why. A housing project? Poor people? You really want the TV that is probably the center of a family's life? Mom gets the kids up, puts on cartoons. Kids after school, she's got her talk shows while she cooks and cleans. End of day, football game for her man.
Yes, because the strong, independent woman, career burglar in skin-tight leather is really going to sympathize with your stereotypical happy homemaker. Also, he doesn't make a similar case for the theft of stereos. I guess this is one of his more subtle tactics for fighting his war against rock and roll.
The quicker you learn that, the faster you'll make your way over to my side. To me. I mean, hey, it's only natural that of course you'd want a piece of the Batman. Every criminal I run into tends to fall in love with me. Hell, you should see that clown that's been stalking me.
That was then. And I never did think it through. To him. No wonder I never see him anymore. Yes, it truly is tragic that she never got through to him. It's so tragic, in fact, that they've apparently had sex several times before now!
Great continuity!
Story number 2, The Lighthouse, features Aquaman and his wife Mira as they rediscover the tragic tale of a sailor who was lost at sea before he could return home to his lady love, the daughter of the original lighthouse keeper. It's pretty harmless, and really there's not a whole lot to make fun of, and it ends on a rather sweet note, and it's a pretty decent read. Next! Story number 3, Dreamer, features this guy Ricky who apparently has some history with Batgirl. She bumps into him as he tries to break into a car, but he tells her that he was hoping they'd meet again after she kissed him in Batgirl Annual number 1. She explains that it wasn't for romantic intentions like he thinks it was, but even after her explanation, I still have no idea what the point of it was. She goes on to give several rather logical points as to why she can't have a personal relationship like the kind that Ricky wants, but Ricky pushes his point further. I'd kick myself if I didn't at least ask you for another, just for fun. Just for fun? Free romance tip number 1. If a woman turns you down, just pursue her more. It worked really well for John Hinckley. So she kisses him, and considering how she's clutching onto him like this, she's apparently a lot more enthusiastic about it than she was before. Character inconsistency? Or is Ricky just a damn good kisser? You make the call! Before Batgirl goes back to her patrol, Ricky proposes that maybe her civilian alter ego will hit him up sometime, since he has no idea who she is and has no way of approaching her himself. Dream on, Ricky. Dream on. Yes, hit it and quit it. That's the true meaning of Valentine's Day. Cock tease. Story number 4, Soul Brothers, I don't know, features Apollo and Midnighter from Stormwatch as they break up after a mission that I can't tell if they accomplished or completely botched. I'm skipping this story since I know nothing about these characters or their histories, and the story doesn't exactly help on its own to rectify that, and I don't feel quite qualified to talk about them. But I will say that the art reminds me a lot of Sam Keith's artwork. No thanks. Oh yeah, and after they break up, Apollo immediately hits on some random guy in a bar. How romantic. Story number 5, Another Saturday Night, shows Nightwing breaking up an assassination attempt while simultaneously talking to his new girlfriend on the phone. Maybe this wasn't a good idea. Maybe we're just not a good fit. Come on, Jen. How can you say that? We only went out twice. You know, for all of the acrobatics and punches and kicks that Nightwing's doing in this scene, he must be exerting himself quite a bit. Anyone else wondering what the other end of this conversation sounds like?
Come on, Jen. How can you say that? We only went out twice! Ah!
So yeah, she dumped Nightwing, and he and the target's bodyguard, Ursa, make quick work of the assassins. They take her boss to the hospital, and the two of them start to hit it off. You know, I was trying to be nice by inviting you to dinner, with you getting dumped and all, but if you're going to ask a million questions...
I didn't get dumped.
Okay. Free romance tip number 2. Women absolutely hate being asked questions about themselves. After a bit of flirting, Nightwing suggests that they meet again tomorrow night. I'll bring pizza. On one condition. No pepperoni. Nightwing grins enthusiastically as we cut to the next night, where he stands on the same rooftop with a pizza in hand. And she just stands him up. Anthology collections and crossover comics can often be used as a way to introduce readers to new characters that they otherwise wouldn't know about. And after reading this story, I know now to avoid any comic that has Ursa in it. Nice move, DC! Our final story, Truth or Dare, shows Superman and Wonder Woman having a romantic night out.
You never told me much about your family. I feel like I still know so little about you.
When it comes to my family, believe me, you're better off not knowing. See, at first I thought I was an immaculate conception, and then I found out that Zeus is my biological father, and then my mother, who you may recall was a member of the JSA, went on some kind of a rampage and tried to destroy the world with a deadly bee weapon. It's a mess. They go on talking about their personal lives, and I have to comment on the art here. Why does Wonder Woman look like Megan Fox? Okay. Writers and artists at DC. If you're watching my videos, please, I'm asking, no. I am pleading with you. I am begging you. Please stop pushing the idea that Megan Fox should play Wonder Woman. It's hard enough for you guys to make a movie that isn't about Batman. You don't need to promote a woman who can't act! The live musicians finish their performance, and Superman notices something strange about the other patrons.
Diana? Why is everyone looking at us?
Oh no! They're angry fans that hate you're getting together with Wonder Woman! Abandoned comic! Actually, they're under the control of the Singers, who are the sirens from Greek mythology. And Wonder Woman's cousin Eros is there, and he wants her to surrender her bracelets and lasso of truth because... evil. Surrender? You don't know me at all. And I would wager that the artist doesn't really know who Wonder Woman is either, because she looks completely baked in this panel. But it turns out that Eros wasn't really trying to defeat Wonder Woman, he was just under the hypnotic influence of the sirens. Once he's free of their spell after a quick rap session with the Lasso of Truth, he promptly shoots the sirens in the chest. Superman's free of their spell before he can do any real damage to Wendy, but Eros doesn't take too kindly to the fact that he was shooting his laser vision at his cousin. I accept my share of the blame in this, Kryptonian, but I would see to it that you never hurt my cousin again. And he shoots Superman, because killing her boyfriend will be far less painful to her than a few laser blasts to her impenetrable bracelets, right? Wonder Woman's last bit of dialogue is kind of confusing. I never wanted it to be this way. If you truly loved me, I would have it be of your own choice. I think the implication here is that Wonder Woman thinks that Superman was only with her because he was under the Sirens' control. But they've already been together for a handful of issues already in Justice League. So where is this coming from? Superman ends the story by proclaiming that him being with her is his choice, and showing that he caught the bullet. Not quite sure what this is supposed to mean, since I don't know if he's invulnerable to godly weapons, or if he's just now open to getting shot in the face now that he's down, but now it's time to look at one more special feature in this comic. DC Valentine's cards. Let's make a splash, Valentine, because I know how to talk to Tuna.
You don't bring me flowers.
Yeah, it's because you're an abomination against God and nature. I get a sidekick out of you. Yeah, brilliant. Come on to your Valentine with the image of a murderous psychopath. I'm amazed that they haven't tried this already with Ted Bundy cards. You're perfect. Which is more than I can say for the first time they tried to draw this image. You stole my heart in a flash. Big deal. Jack-in-the-Box has the same results. IYQ. SWAK. XOX. Okay, the IYQ thing is kind of funny. You've got grace and beauty. Ugh. Why do I have the sick feeling that Frank Miller's Batman often said that to Dick Grayson, age 12? Send me a signal. Yeah, like that'll mean anything. A woman giving you some kind of attention could mean anything from, I like you, to, I was bored between texting my girlfriends. You've been rebooted as my Valentine. Which means that we love each other and we don't know each other, or that we live with each other and we're longtime friends, or that we love each other and we're longtime friends, despite the fact that we don't know each other. Say the magic word, and I'm yours. Okay. Cupid beat me to it. Anyone else want to bet that there actually is some Silver Age story out there where the Green Arrow does play Cupid? Fear not, I'll always love you. Yeah, right up until the point where Earth gets invaded by a giant yellow space bug. You're wonderful. You can tell how wonderful I think you are by how excited I look to see you. You bring out the animal in me. Here's a dead raccoon that I found on the street. Happy Valentine's Day. You put a hex on me. Any chance you might be able to do that for the movie-going audience? I'm getting kind of desperate here. Te amo, te adoro. Great. A Valentine that you can't understand unless you do homework for it. My love is more powerful than a locomotive.
Tonight is for just us. Tonight is for just us. Well, okay, it's for you, me, and all the women that I got lined up outside my door. Again, women love the Batman.
And so that was Young Romance, the DC New 52 Valentine's Day special. It's got some good stories, it's got some not-so-good stories, and it's got some stories that remind us that the new Catwoman still sucks despite being in the hands of totally new writers. See you later.
Am I blue? Am I blue? Ain't these tears in my eyes telling you? Am I blue? You'd be too if each plan that you had done fell through. was a time I was your only one, but now I'm the sad and lonely one.
Beautiful. And you'll keep your part of the bargain? A deal's a deal. He can stop now. Not on your life.
I should say